Let's look at the second problem. To mail a large envelope first class, the U.S. Post Office charges $1 for the first ounce and 21 cents per ounce for each additional ounce. How many ounces can Mary mail if she does not want to spend more than $3? Okay, so we got a story. We've read it through once. Now let's go back and pick it apart. So what have they told us? To mail a large envelope first class, the U.S. Post Office charges $1 for the first ounce. So the cost for the first ounce, and this is in dollars, right? Money, not Russian rubles, is $1, right? And 21 cents per ounce for each additional ounce. Okay, so let's see. The cost for each additional ounce, also in US dollars, is 21 cents. Got it. So how many ounces can Mary mail if she doesn't want to spend more than $3? So what does that mean, she doesn't want to spend more than $3? Give me another way of saying it. Yeah, that's the most she wants to spend, right? That's the maximum she wants to spend, right? Which means she's going to spend $3 or less. So we want, or she wants, her total cost, which is, again in dollars, to be less than or equal to that $3, doesn't she? Okay, so forget the numbers. Let's talk this through. How would we figure out how much this large envelope would cost us? What would we have to do to figure it out for ourselves? Forget the numbers. Just talk me through it. Good. So we get the cost of the first ounce, right? And then what would you do? Good, I heard you. You would add it to the cost of each additional ounce, right? And that would equal your total cost, wouldn't it? Okay, so my question is this. I know the cost of the first ounce, that's easy, that's $1. But how do I figure out the cost of each additional ounce? So let's see. Cost of each additional ounce. How would I figure that out? Because it's 21 cents an ounce, isn't it? Good. So do I know how many ounces? Do I know how many additional ounces I guessed, right? Because it says additional. No. So here's the deal. Two things going on here. I don't know the cost of each additional ounce. So, or pardon me, and I don't even know how many additional ounces there are. So two things. So let's see. We need to get the cost per ounce, right? And multiply it by the additional ounces. I know the cost per ounce. What is it? 21 cents. Do I know how many additional ounces I have? No. So I'm going to call that N. Are you with me? Okay. So when I start setting up this problem, I know that I'm going to take the cost of the first ounce. That's $1. I'm going to add to it the cost of each additional ounce. Well, that's what we figured out over here. The cost of each additional ounce is going to be found by taking the 21 cents and multiplying it by the additional ounces, which is N. Is it going to be equal to the total cost? No, it's going to be less than or equal to that $3. Good? Okay, now that we figured this out, we talked it out in words, now let's figure this out. So we got to move the dollar over, right? That's $2. We got to divide by 0.21. And since it's positive, my inequality sign stays the same. So I'm just going to round to one decimal place. 9.5. Got it? Okay. Now, I forgot a word up here. How many whole ounces? Hang in there. I'll be right back to that word. So did you get the same? Yeah, N is less than or equal to 9.5. What does N stand for? N represents the additional ounces. So, we put $1 in here, didn't we? Because that was the cost for the first ounce, right? So let's see. The number of ounces, excuse me a second. It's going to be the first ounce, right? Plus additional ounces, right? And that's going to be 1 plus that 9.5, right? So that's 10.5, isn't it? Now here's the thing. They want the number of whole ounces. So can this 10.5 round to 11? No, it can't. I know you want to round it to 11 because when that decimal is 5 or higher, we round up, don't we? But in this case, it's going to affect the amount of money we spend. She can only send 10.5 ounces at the most, which means in this case, I have to round it down. So the number of ounces she could spend at most, or she could mail at most, is 10 ounces. She can only mail 10 ounces at the absolute most. 11 ounces will throw her over the $3. Good? Does this make sense? Okay, got one more story for us, so